Hey everyone, it's Luke here from LT Gaming and welcome back to the channel. So the Steam Summer Sale is in full swing and I'm having a good time looking through what is overall a very strong sale and picking out my favourite titles. In today's list I'm going to showcase 14 space sims that I think you should consider buying in this current sale. We have a pretty relaxed definition of space simulation on this channel and I've used some from previous lists while also adding some fresh content here. I've also tried to keep it quite varied in terms of price and how well known these titles are, so there's some real rare gems here and a couple of mainstays you're definitely going to know already. Well, if you're into this genre, if not, welcome to Space Simulations. It's a totally awesome type of game. So let's keep this intro brief and jump into a whole new cosmic adventure. Let's go! Spacebourne 2, 40% off, €11.70. In this solo-developed space sim, you get to embark on a journey to greatness. You will take part in adrenaline-fueled battles with a chance to claim your place in the galaxy, grab the controls of your ship, gear up for the fight, and unleash your ambition to conquer and build a new empire in the vastness of space. Now, when this game hit early access, it surprised a lot of people. It achieved a lot of the ambitions that loftier titles like Star Citizen set out to do, but it only had a solo developer, so there was a lot of rough edges on this one. However, many great additions and improvements have been made, and there seems to be the ambition to finish this title. It's improving all the time, and despite the jank, there's a real gem of a space sim here. It's definitely a strong contender on this list. It's rated overall very positive on Steam with an 81% rating. No Man's Sky, 50% off, €29.49. Although some may argue this is a space open world survival game, there's a lot of space sim elements here, and it's such a marquee title, it will be very hard to leave it off this sales list. It's also a pretty good deal, though still a little bit on the expensive side. If you don't know about this title, it's about exploration and survival in an infinitely procedurally generated universe. It's inspired by the adventure and imagination of classic science fiction and overall has a great aesthetic and some really deep gameplay. Although personally it's a space simulation I've bounced off a few times, I can see the appeal and it's definitely a game I'd like to return to after a lot of updates and a massive improvement to the base game. It's rated overall 78% mostly positive on Steam and is also fully verified on the Steam Deck. Elite Dangerous, 70% off, €5.99. Also Elite Dangerous Odyssey, 35% off, €9.74. I couldn't really make a space sim list and not include Elite Dangerous. Essentially, if you don't know already, you take control of your own starship in a cutthroat galaxy and you can pretty much do anything you want. It's huge, it's massive, and it's also a multiplayer space epic. However, the criticism over the years is that Elite is about 1,000,000 miles wide and a couple of centimeters deep. At this price though, if you haven't played Elite before, and you probably have, now might be the time to pick it up and play it. There's a huge amount of content here, there's loads of immersion, and honestly, it really is a strong space sim, despite maybe a few wrong turns here and there. The virtual reality experience, at least for me, is probably the best I've had in any space sim. And it's still rated mostly positive on Steam with an overall 76% rating. Underspace, 20% off, €13.43. This game is relatively new to early access and advertises itself as a spiritual successor to Freelancer with a Lovecraftian sandbox RPG twist. And that's quite a mouthful to say. In this very interesting space sim, you can explore a vast handmade universe with day one mod support and a planned PvP co-op multiplayer on the early access roadmap. In this game, taking on the monsters and everything you find in space, you're gonna need a bigger ship. Since hitting early access, this title has done very well, sitting at 81% very positive reviews on Steam. It's great to see that I featured it in a video a while ago that did very well, and it's awesome to see it come to fruition, and I hope they keep adding more to it. Definitely go out and support this one, it's a strong game overall. Void Destroyer 2, 70% off, €2.45. Begin your odyssey with nothing but a humble vessel, barely fit for the rigours of space combat. It's a modest start, but from these humble beginnings you'll forge an empire unlike any other. Welcome to an expansive open-world space sandbox, a universe inspired by the classics, but expanded beyond imagination. In the vast game of Void Destroyer 2, the possibilities are limitless. From the cockpit of your basic ship, you'll chart your own course through the stars, shaping your destiny with every decision. Will you trade goods and amass wealth, or engage in daring missions and carve out a reputation as a legendary spacefarer? The choice is yours. But be warned, in Void Destroyer 2 the galaxy is unforgiving, and dangers lurk in every corner of the cosmos. Pirates, rival factions, and cosmic phenomena will test your mettle at every turn. This game emphasises combat, tactics and strategy, with battles ranging from one-on-one to fleet versus fleet. With a simple yet manageable economy, it offers loads of freedom to the player on how to play and who to play as. It's listed as playable for the Steam Deck and also is rated very positive in the reviews on Steam. Delta V Rings of Saturn, 50% off, €4.09. Immerse yourself in a physics-based mining simulator set in the densest debris field in Sol. Every action triggers a reaction. Lasers remain unseen without a medium, and your thrust doubles as a powerful weapon. Engage in trade, customize your equipment to match your playstyle, and hire a crew to assist you. Uncover the mysteries of the rings, or simply amass your fortune. This is a great title and comes in at a very reasonable price of €8.19 or your regional equivalent, making it great value for money. This game prides itself on the fact that all in-game technologies are real and there's no technobabble. One of the really awesome things about Delta V is that it's still in active development and updates are provided all the time. If you're unsure whether this title is for you, you can try out the demo, which is always a great option to have. And the rating on Steam is excellent, with very positive 94% reviews overall, and it's also playable on the Steam Deck. This is a game that I played quite some time ago, but the fact that it's always being actively developed is dragging me back in, and I think you should give it another shot in 2024 also. Right, LT gamers, if you're enjoying this list or you're new here, make sure to like, comment your recommendations and what you think of the games on the list, and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to support LT Gaming, do hit the join button below, or you can always come and have some fun in our Discord. We appreciate all the interaction that we get. Avorion, 50% off, €12.49. This game is a procedural co-op space sandbox where players can build their own spaceships out of dynamically scalable blocks. You can fight epic space battles, explore, mine, trade, wage wars, and build your own empire to save your galaxy from being torn apart by an unknown enemy. The game was released in 2020 by Boxelware, and I have to say, during my time with it, it's absolutely great and very ambitious. You start out in this game as a nobody at the edge of the sector, and work your way to the centre of the galaxy, where it gets more and more dangerous, but also equally as rewarding. You can equip your ship with chain guns, lasers, and other weaponry to take on your enemies and enjoy the sight of completely destructible vessels breaking at the exact points where you hit them. You can defend your allies from pirates, hunt down enemies for coin, or even participate in wars between entire factions. In Avorion, you can explore the galaxy at your own pace, with the ability to find valuable goods in old shipwrecks, undiscovered asteroid fields rich in resources, gigantic asteroids which you can claim for yourself, or clues about what happened during the event a few centuries back. There are also no limits to the size or complexity of the ship that you can design and build, beside the resources that you collect. And if you just want to go wild, there is a creative mode so you can design to your heart's content. Avorion is a true sandbox space simulation game, and although the player base isn't that small, there were 500 concurrent players on when I checked, it could definitely be bigger for the quality of the title. Once again, this one is playable on Steam Deck, and you've no reason not to go and check it out today. Empyrion Galactic Survival, 60% off, €7.99. In this game, you will build and explore in a true space sandbox survival adventure. Construct mighty capital vessels, sprawling planetary settlements, and vast space stations in your galactic journey to discover the mysteries of Empyrion. And I'm going to be honest, when I made this video, I had to say the word Empyrion about 30 times before I felt comfortable with it. Hopefully I pronounced it correctly. Now this game bridges a few different genres. While it is a space sim, you will build, craft and survive, and that might not be for the hardcore space simmer. But if you're looking for a game that does a bit of everything, then you should probably consider it. Now, I can't claim to be an expert on this title as I only picked it up today as I made the list, but we can learn together with this one. Do we consider it a space sim or do we not? I would lean on the fact that it does enough simulation aspects to be considered as part of the genre, but I'll leave it up to you. Liberation, 50% off, €7.39. Now, interestingly enough, after viewing my video, the developer emailed me about this game. I knew nothing about it. Then I started playing it, and I have to say, it's a really great space sim. It's definitely more on the minimalist side, especially in the graphics, but this game has a real charm about it. You pilot an elite stealth ship after escaping a prison colony, and you can upgrade that ship with a variety of weapons and systems. You'll then be able to engage in high-stakes dogfights, dock with space stations, planets and spaceports, and work with heroes and villains to destroy the Galactic Federation. It's a lovingly crafted, single-player, open-universe RPG inspired by classic science fiction stories such as Blake's 7 and the original 1984 BBC Micro version of Elite. With 24 unique systems to explore and a huge amount of fun to be had, I really highly recommend this game. It's a lot of fun and it's very different to everything else that you've played in this genre. We love to bring you games on this channel that you didn't know about, and I think Liberation will definitely be a contender. I also fired it up on the Steam Deck and it worked perfectly. House of the Dying Sun, 70% off, €5.99. Now, I'm not sure if this game is having some sort of resurgence, but I've seen it in a number of big YouTubers' videos lately. But if that is the case, then it definitely deserves that resurgence. It's an absolutely brilliant space game. Enter the cockpit of the galaxy's most formidable starfighter in House of the Dying Sun, a tactical space shooter that thrusts you into the heart of interstellar conflict. As the pilot of this fearsome vessel, your mission is clear. Hunt down the enemies of the Empire and unleash devastation upon their worlds. In the vast expanse of space, you'll engage in intense dogfights against rival factions, utilising advanced weaponry and tactics to outmaneuver your adversaries. The game has a very classic space combat feel to it, where you fly from the cockpit of your Executor Mark II, with gameplay heavily influenced by the Titans of yesteryear. But not only this, you can take command of your own fleet within this game, and it also supports a brilliant VR mode. In fact, it's my favourite virtual reality game of all time. Now, there are only 14 campaign scenarios, but they are replayable from a number of different angles and challenges. The game is also extremely unforgiving, and it has quite a difficulty curve, but I really enjoyed the challenge in this one. The graphics are absolutely perfect for the vibe of the game, and overall it's just such a brilliant title that wasn't that well known about at the time when it came out in 2016, and even to this day it deserves much higher accolades than it gets. I honestly have to say that this gets close to being one of the best combat-focused space simulation games of all time. It's so good. As I said, playing this in VR is the ultimate immersive experience. Shoot by your enemy, drift, come back around, and then utterly destroy them. It is sublime. And I'm not even that big a fan of virtual reality gaming. However, if you want to play this on a flat screen, you absolutely can, and it's fully verified for the Steam Deck, where it's really cool to play it. Look, I don't know what else to say. If you are a space simulation fan, go and buy this game and just enjoy it. We really should support projects like this, and one day, perhaps we may even get a sequel. Evochron Legacy SE, 20% off, €19.60. This game is an advanced freeform, open-world spaceflight simulation focused on combat, trade, exploration, and survival gameplay with pilot-controlled spacecraft management. You can engage in ongoing large-scale battles between human factions as a civilian mercenary, or confront an alien threat at designated war zones for intense battles and access to powerful military hardware. Evochron is a tightly focused technical space sim with options and gameplay specifically geared toward that objective. The game focuses on what flying and managing a spacecraft through a sparsely populated system in a large region of the galaxy might actually feel like in the future. The focus of this game is on elements of piloting a spacecraft and the complexities, challenges and rewards that go along with it, while exploring and utilising a vast seamless style universe. This is a sandbox game in almost every facet of the gameplay. One thing to note with this title is it's definitely on the more hardcore range of the spectrum. You can spend quite a long time just playing through the tutorials before you're even ready to play, but if you do get through all that, there is a wonderful game that lies waiting for you. This version of the game was released all the way back in 2016 and the player base has fallen away somewhat. However, if you're burnt out on Elite or X4 or any of the other games, then Evochron Legacy could be a great one to go back and revisit, especially if you want a more technical experience. Children of a Dead Earth, 75% off, €4.87. This game was recommended by so many users on our other list that I had to include it, and I actually did put this on a sales list quite some time ago, but essentially it claims to be the most scientifically accurate space warfare simulator ever made. You can design your spacecrafts using real-world technologies, traverse the solar system using actual orbital mechanics, and command fleets as the solar system descends into war. To state that there's a learning curve to this game would be a bit of an understatement. You definitely need to do your research before you play this one, and it's for the hardcore player. They claim that every technology from the nuclear thermal rockets to the railguns to the magneto-plasma dynamic thrusters was implemented using actual equations from engineering and physics textbooks and white papers. LT gamers, you will never appreciate how many takes it took me to say magneto-plasma dynamic thrusters. Regardless, this is definitely a game for the hardcore, but is extremely rewarding once things start to click. And overall, it's rated very positive on Steam, with an 89% overall rating, and is playable on the Steam Deck. Space Engine, 40% off, €17.39. Experience the groundbreaking marvel of this photorealistic interactive 3D planetarium, revolutionizing our understanding of the cosmos. This innovative platform meticulously models the entire universe, offering an unparalleled journey through space and time. And while this isn't strictly just a game, you can flight sim through the universe in various spacecraft. It's absolutely incredible and one of the best space simulation experiences I've ever had. Utilizing cutting-edge procedural generation technology, it brings to life uncharted areas of the cosmos, allowing exploration of the unknown with breathtaking realism. With this title, you must prepare to be immersed in a universe of endless discovery, where every star, planet, and celestial body is meticulously recreated to scientific accuracy. Whether you're a gamer or astronomer, this interactive 3D planetarium offers an unparalleled opportunity to explore the wonders of the universe like never before. Space Engine has a one-to-one scale-based universe, featuring billions upon billions of galaxies, nebula, stars, and planets, all shown at their full real-world scale. If you want to stay local, you can explore Earth and our neighbouring worlds in the solar system, or go and orbit a black hole in a galaxy billions of light years away. In flight simulator mode, your spacecraft will be subject to Newtonian physics and is yours to fly anywhere in the universe. I spent hours the other day just messing around with my spacecraft and its orbit around the Earth. You can become completely lost and immersed in this game. And although there is a strong community that surrounds the game, it would be great to bring in new players to experience the majesty of Space Engine. X4 Foundations, 70% off, €14.99. Finally, we get to X4 Foundations on this list, which for me is the ultimate space sim to play in 2024, despite recent missteps. The base game is extremely strong and they've improved on it over many years. However, the recent Timelines DLC just wasn't the direction I wanted it to take, and I did have early access to that particular DLC, but I decided not to feature it. Overall, I think I'd rather do a bigger video on this game later in the year as to why I think it's the best space sim in 2024. If you don't know about this game, it's one of the most sophisticated universe simulations ever created, where you can fly every ship, explore every bit of space and manage an empire while trading, fighting, building and thinking carefully to embark on an epic journey of space exploration. Despite Timelines not being what I expected, they did include a massive free update to the base game that made many improvements and is pretty awesome. This is a game I've lost hours to. I think currently I'm on about 500 hours, and although compared to some players that's not huge, I play a massive amount of games on a weekly basis, so to actually have that figure in a game for me is quite impressive. For me, the ultimate immersive space simulation game to play, and honestly, you should go and pick it up at this price. It's an absolute bargain. It's rated overall mostly positive on Steam at 78%, but they really are doing X4 dirty with that scoring. So there we go, LT gamers, we reached the end of another Steam summer sales list, and it's been an absolute banger. Some great titles on this, and games you could lose yourself in for absolutely hundreds of hours. Keep an eye out for all our content over this Steam Summer Sale. Like, comment, and join the channel. Subscribe to us. We really want to have you here. We're building a super strong community also if you want to jump into our Discord. I've been Luke from LT Gaming, and as always, I'll catch you on the next one.